Thank you everybody for, oh, there it goes again. Thank you again, everyone, for joining. I know everyone is very busy, so we do try to keep all of these to 30 minutes or less. So we're gonna kind of move a little fast, but definitely the process we're gonna go through today is going to be really easy for you guys if you're interested or if you already have a Socket mobile device. So once again, thank you for joining us today. Today we're going to talk about how to set up and sync your Socket mobile device. So as always, we sort of start all of our webinars with this housekeeping. You might notice, and you probably heard me mention, that we're muting everybody. So you might notice a red microphone or a red phone next to your name. That is on purpose. We do that to try to keep background noise out, and also it just helps keeping everything, the noise level down. With that said, though, we want to hear questions. So in this control panel, depending upon whether you're in the web browser or in this control panel, you have the ability to type in questions. So on this webinar with us today, we've got Brittany Carroll. She is a customer success specialist here at InspectPoint, and she is going to be moderating any and all questions that you have. So if you are using the GoToMeeting control panel, that's most likely over on the right-hand side of your screen and probably in the way of everything, you're going to see a little arrow with chat next to it. Tap that arrow and drop any and all questions you have in there, and we will get to them at the end of the webinar. If you are using the web browser version of GoToMeeting, you'll see what almost looks like a little flower icon. I think that's what it looks like, but a little flower icon. And what you'll do is just click on that and drop any and all questions in there. So today, like I mentioned, is going to be pretty fast-paced. So what are we going to cover? Today, we're going to cover how to set up your Socket mobile device and then sync that Socket mobile device with InspectPoint. We're also going to see and show you where you can see the battery life of your Socket mobile device, because there would be nothing worse than you being prepared to go out to do an inspection, Socket mobile device in hand, go to scan, no battery life. So we will show you where you can see that so you are always prepared and always have the proper battery life. And then, of course, we're going to show you how to unsync that Socket mobile device. The Socket mobile devices can only be synced to one iPad at a time. So if you do only have one Socket mobile device and you're sort of sharing it between technicians, we're going to have to show you how to sort of unsync it so you can sync it to another iPad. So why would you want to use the Socket mobile device scanner? We already have a pre-existing barcode feature built into our product, but pretty much the Socket mobile scanner allows you to scan from any screen. So if you're familiar with our barcoding feature currently in the product, what you have to do to scan a barcode is tap the barcode icon or tap scan and the camera will pop up. Now with the Socket mobile scanner, you can scan from any screen. So ultimately what you can do is open up your inspection, start it, and just begin scanning your barcodes. From there, the barcodes will just pop up onto this, or the actual system or asset or valve will just pop up onto the screen, and you'll just be able to inspect it that way. It also is good to get those hard to reach barcodes. So if you have to climb up onto a ladder and shimmy your iPad in between a couple of pipes, or you've got one really, really, really high up and it's just impossible to get to with the camera on the iPad, now you can use your Socket mobile device. It has a longer range, and it's just easier for you to get that barcode scanner in there and scan the barcode. Lastly, we're thinking of your battery on your iPad. So we all know the more you open up your camera, it's going to drain your battery. It's just how it is with the iPad. So by using the Socket mobile scanner, you are basically saving the battery life on your iPad by not having to open up the camera every time you want to scan a barcode. So if you are in a large facility, everything is barcoded. You might need an external battery handy if you're going to be barcode scanning a lot. Socket mobile scanner eliminates that. No longer do you open up the camera, you use the Socket mobile scanner itself. So we've got a lot to cover, so I'm just going to kind of jump right into it. I'm going to kind of in this one do something a little bit different. So if you have been on webinars in the past, it's been a lot of just going through slides and then me demoing it. This time, a lot of it's going to take place on the iPad, so we're going to kind of jump over to the iPad now. So let me pull that up. And get this synced up and ready to go. All right, so there's the iPad. All right, so to start, the first thing that you need to do is you need to search for your Socket Mobile Companion. What you're going to do is you're going to find that in the App Store. So the very first place that you are going to start is in the Apple App Store. So you're going to want to find that icon, click on the icon, hit the search, and start typing in Socket Mobile. And the app that you are going to want to download is the second one down, the Socket Mobile Companion. You're going to tap Socket Mobile Companion, and then you're going to click Get. Now, as that is downloading, I am going to actually show you a couple of the items that you need so that you don't have to sit here and watch my iPad download the app. So, give me 1 second. We're going to jump around here for a sec. All right. Hi, everyone. So there's a couple of items that you do need. First and foremost, this little printout right here is attached to all of our documentation, and this is important that you have this. It's also very important that you have one of these. This is the Socket Mobile Scanner. So in order to set up, not only do you need the app, but you will need this little handout, and you will need the Socket Mobile device. So I am going to switch back over to the iPad, and now the app is downloaded. You'll notice that it's downloaded because it says open next to it here. You're going to tap open, and the great thing about this integration with Socket Mobile is the Socket Mobile Companion app makes it really, really simple for you to set up and sync your Socket Mobile device with InspectPoint. Ultimately, what's going to happen is we are just going to follow the steps in the companion app. So we are going to tap continue. They're going to thank us, of course, for choosing Socket Mobile, and we thank you for choosing Socket Mobile and InspectPoint as well. So we're going to click set up, and then we are literally just going to follow the directions. So we're going to press and hold the power button on the scanner. Don't know if you can hear that, but there was a couple happy little beeps that came out of that Socket Mobile device. Once we hear those beeps, we're going to tap next. And we're going to follow the instructions. So to do this, to turn off your Bluetooth, you actually need to navigate out of the app. So you're going to tap the home button on your icon. And then you're going to find the settings icon on your iPad. It's going to be this gear icon. So what you're going to do is just tap that gear icon. You're going to locate Bluetooth on the left sidebar, and right now you're going to see that it's connected. And you know that your Bluetooth is enabled, and you know that the Bluetooth is on because it's green. What you're going to do to turn it off is tap that toggle button, and it's going to turn white. Now what you want to do is navigate back to the Socket Mobile Companion app. Tap on the app. And since we did exactly what they just asked us, we're going to click next. Now, this is an important part. So right now, the scanners that we support are what is referred to as a laser scanner. So that little handy printout that I was showing beforehand, you need to scan that barcode or the barcodes that they're telling you on the piece of paper. If you scan the barcode on the iPad, the setup will not work. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your Socket Mobile. Excuse me there. Sorry, it's the spring weather. I think I'm getting a little sick. So you're going to take your Socket Mobile device, and you're going to scan the very first barcode. All right, so once again, if you could hear those little beeps of joy from the Socket Mobile device, that means that it just scanned the initiating barcode. So the very first barcode on that piece of paper, the printout that you're supposed to print, once we scan that, we're going to click next. Now, the Socket Mobile Companion app is basically telling us that once it's scanned, it turned the Socket Mobile device off. So now what we need to do is we need to hit that little black button, and we need to turn the Socket Mobile back on. So you're going to touch the power button and hold it down. Once again, you're going to hear a little confirmation tone. You're going to click Next. And once again, it's going to ask you to scan another barcode. This one, it's going to ask you to scan barcode number 2, so the application mode barcode. You're going to scan that barcode. Once again, some lovely confirmation tones from the Socket Mobile Companion, or the Socket Mobile device, I should say. Going to click Next. And now this is the important part, because this is where a lot of people are getting tripped up. So what we're going to do is we are going to once again navigate back to our settings. So we're going to hit that home button on the iPad, that circle button out at the bottom, locate the settings. We are going to turn on our Bluetooth. So you're going to tap that toggle. And then you're going to start seeing the Socket Mobile listed. And once you see that Socket Mobile listed, you're going to tap it. And this is going to take a little bit of time too. We just need to wait for it to connect. Once you see the word connected next to the Socket Mobile device, you're going to navigate back to your Socket Mobile Companion app. Tap that home button, find your Socket Mobile app, tap on the app icon, and click Next. Now, this is the important part. Keep your Socket Mobile handy, keep it right next to it, because it's going to try to detect your scanner. And in this case, it just did that. So it's going to, of course, say, congratulations, you set it up. So this is pretty much, you're pretty much done at this point. Although we have one more barcode to scan. So once we reach this screen, we know that this Socket Mobile is at least set up on, as far as we know, with the Socket Mobile Companion. Now we just want to make sure that it's synced up with the iPad. So we're going to click Yes. And then if you would like to give some feedback and take a short survey with Socket Mobile, you can go ahead and click Yes. If not, and for timing purposes on this, we are going to click No Thank You. And we have one more scanner, or one more barcode that we have to scan with our scanner. What you're going to do is you're going to tap this Test Scanner button. Once again, you are going to scan the barcode, and in this time, it is the final barcode on that handout that you have to print out. The number 3, the test barcode, it will not scan. It will not work if you scan the iPad, so you just have to scan that 3rd barcode. Once you scan it, once again, you're going to come back to this screen. It's going to say that, once again, congratulations. Now at this point, what we can do, Socket Mobile is set up. We want to make sure that it's now synced with the Inspect Point app. So we're going to close the Socket Mobile app. We're going to find our Inspect Point app, launch our Inspect Point app. We are going to tap on that eye or the information icon down in the bottom. We are then going to tap Settings. And when we see Enable Socket Mobile and we see that the toggle is green, it means that the Socket Mobile device and the Inspect Point app are synced, and you can begin using your Socket Mobile device with your iPad. The other thing that's good is that you will see a percentage next to the name of your Socket Mobile device. That percentage right there is your battery life. So in this case, I've got a pretty good battery life. I had this thing charging all night to make sure that it worked for today's training. So we're at a 99%. So this, if you ever call and you're calling support and we ask, are you using the Socket Mobile device, we're most likely going to make you tap on that eye, tell us if you're enabled, and most importantly, we're going to ask you for that battery life to make sure that it's actually working. Once it's enabled, you will see, like I said, that green. To remove the Socket Mobile from this device, say you need to hand it off to somebody else, what you want to do is tap the toggle to remove the Socket Mobile device from this particular iPad and this app. You are going to tap the home button. You are going to find your settings icon, tap that settings icon, find your Socket Mobile, And then you are going to tap on it, and it's going to ask you to forget this device. You have to forget this device. Click OK. And then if you have to set up this again, unfortunately, you have to go through that whole Socket Mobile Companion setup. So you don't have to start from scratch by setting up the app, but you will need to, scan the test barcode. You will need to just set it up all over again. So that is how you set up your Socket Mobile device with the Inspect Point app. So let's pop back over. So some key takeaways from today is that the setup of this is easy to follow. That Socket Mobile Companion app is great in the fact that it literally walks you through exactly how to set it up. Once it's set up, it's automatically pretty much synced up with the iPad. But the biggest thing is that it does take a little bit of time. So it can take about 5-10 minutes or so to set it up. So you kind of can't just run out and expect that you can get this set up right away. So do give yourself a little bit of time to set it up before going out to do an inspection, but it is pretty easy to follow along. The Socket Mobile device can only be synced with one iPad at a time. So like I mentioned, if you have to switch out the Socket Mobile device, you do have to sort of unsync from the Inspect Point app and then forget the device from the iPad and then reset up if you want. Another big thing is that Inspect Point does not provide the Socket Mobile devices. So while we do integrate with them, you cannot purchase the Socket Mobile devices directly from us. You can purchase them on this, via Socket Mobile's website. You can also purchase them on Amazon and other sites like that as well. And our current integration, well, that is the Socket Mobile device in the background. I don't know if you heard that or not, but we currently integrate with the following models of the Socket Mobile device. So I will follow up in a email with these, but if you are looking to use the Socket Mobile feature, these are the models that we currently support. So I do see a little bit of a chat icon pop up, but what I am going to do is I am going to unmute Brittany and see if we have any questions. Brittany, are you there?
Hey, Jennifer.
Hello. All right, so do we have any questions?
Yep, we have a few. Derek wants to know if you can email the devices that they can use for the Socket Mobile.
Oh, of course. So in the follow-up email, you guys are going to get a recording of today, and then I'll also list out the devices that we currently support.
Awesome. And Melissa wants to know about the paper with the 3 barcodes.
All right, perfect. Great question. So I will also send this attachment itself just into the email. It is also attached to the documentation inside our help desk as well. It can be a little hidden. It's like way down at the bottom, and the attachment is kind of small. So I will just send this as an attachment so you can download this and print it off right away.
And that's all we have for questions.
All right. Can anybody else think of anything? All right. Well, as always, I want to thank everybody. I know everybody is super busy. And like I said, we try to keep these things quick for that reason. Pop on, really go through some things. And I am going to follow up with, like I said, a recording of this, as well as some helpful information. And I just want to thank all of you for joining today. So thank you.